to another episode of Diffley's Family Farm. I'm currently I finally got around to putting seeds in the pots that I prepared during the week. I got the flowers done that night, but time was against me, so now I'm just getting the seeds in now, and it's Sunday evening, but no worry, there's still plenty of time. By this time next week, I hope to see some shoots coming up. This week on the farm, earlier on in the week, we had our neighbour Dermot over with his tractor again. It's great having somebody close by who's ready and willing to help at the drop of a hat. And we got that big trailer thing I have moved again, which is kind of a pain in the neck at this stage because we always seem to be having to move it. But it's well out of the way now, and that should be fine. But every time the Blue Beast turns up here so far, it's got a 100% record. I lost more fence, so we had to take down a bit of fence to get the trailer in. It's too wide for any of the gates, but no harm, it won't be too hard to put up, and I actually just dismantled it this time instead of letting him destroy it himself. So also this week we got these seeds started, so this is going to be great to see a little bit of growth around the place. And then at the end of the video you're going to see some new arrivals to the farm. Very, very excited about this. This is the start of a long journey, but it's going to be very exciting. So stay tuned, hope you enjoy, and thanks again for watching. Right, so we're in the garage and we have got seeds to put in soil. So the first part of it all is to get the soil into the pots, believe it or not. For the first planting, I'm going to put them seeds into these larger pots because they're going to be in the pots a little bit longer because it's going to take a while for spring to come along, so they can grow a little bit bigger in these pots rather than, well, I am going to plant some in these, but plants that can either go out earlier or don't need as much space. 24 cells in each of them, 6 cells in these. I'm going to leave the 6 cells on the propagation table inside in the living room, and that makes 222 different seeds I can put in this, which is a lot more than I thought. I'm actually shocked by that. And then I can fit 5 of these guys, which is 120 more seedlings I can put on the windowsill. So that, if you get your calculator out, is a lot of seeds. A good few of them are going to be flowers as well, and I've got a bit of an experiment to do as well. I'm going to put half of whatever I grow into regular, this multi-purpose compost, and apologies for the shadow, my lighting isn't very good in here. So half of the seedlings into that, and then I've got biochar, if any of you have heard of biochar, which is just basically charcoal and crushed down into kind of fine powder, little chip form, which I've seen from other videos on YouTube that it can help your seedlings come along a lot quicker. It's all to do with the soil life, soil biology, life in the soil and stuff like that. Not 100% sure, but from the videos on YouTube it works pretty well. It also holds in loads more moisture. So I've got my trusty wheelbarrow over here. Just going to mix in this, just to make it a little easier and create a bit less of a mess. Nothing too fancy, just break up any lumps, any clumps. Give it a slight little pat down, not too much, you don't want it to be too compact. Perfect. And it's just a case of repeat. And that's just the peat ones filled up, and next do the biochar mix. So for the biochar mix, I'm just going to put in 4 of these containers into the wheelbarrow for 1 of the biochar, and that should give me roughly, we're not going to get too technical on it, but that is going to give me, ooh, I even have some worms in my compost. This is actually a year old. I bought it too much last year, so somehow worms have got into it and they still are alive, which is good. Worms are our friends. But yeah, 4 of these containers into my wheelbarrow for one of the biochar should give me about 20%. Here comes the biochar. There's actually got a bit of woody stuff that's not fully burnt down still in it. That's not ideal, but look, we just gotta deal with it. Should be fine. Mix it all in. Actually, I think my hands are gonna be better for this. Give it a good old mix. Let's speed this up a bit. I've also got this baby's breath that my lovely wife once planted, so I'm going to put that into soil at the minute. It says to have them planted by January to May, so we're nearly there. We're in February, it's not too bad. Just going to put them into these little containers to start them off first and see how many of them propagate. I know very little about flowers, so I don't know too much about vegetables either. I've only grown them for the last 2 or 3 years, but it looks like this is just a kind of rootstock that I got to put down into the pot. We'll give it a go. I'm sure some of you can help me out there with the pronunciation of this. I am no flower expert, as I said. Peonies? Peony? Not 100% sure, but it's much the same. It just looks like a rootstock, and I'll put it in a pot, add some water, and hopefully it turns out like it is in a packet. Now let's bring them from the shed to the kitchen. I've just brought the flowers that I've planted into the kitchen because this is a south-facing window. Gets a lot of light and heat during the day. It's always warm in here in the kitchen, so it'll give them a good start and germinate, because, as I said, a bit late planting these, so every bit of boost I can give them, all the better. It's a little trick, little milk container for your watering can. Poke a few holes in the top of it. Just makes it a lot easier to water inside, so you're not dosing a load of water onto it and getting soil all over the place or spilling water. It's very easy to control. I'm not sure how the wife is going to feel about these in the kitchen window for the next 2-3 weeks or 4 weeks maybe, but seeing as they're her flowers, I might get away with it.
If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I'd wanted you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I'd wanted you to shade me and be my leaves. If I was a flower growing wild and free,
So here we have our new arrivals. 5 soon-to-be moms. Come on, ladies, out you go. Oh no. Oh no.
If you were a river in the mountains tall, the rumble of your water would be my call. If you were the winter, I know I'd be the snow, just as long as you were with me when the cold winds blow. All I want is you, will you be my bride? Take me by the hand and stand by my side. All I want is you, will you stay with me? Hold me in your arms and sway me like the sea. If you were a wink, I'd be a nod. If you were a seed, well, I'd be a pod. If you were a floor, I'd wanna be the rug. And if you were a kiss, I know I'd be a hug. All I want is you, will you be my bride? Take me by the hand and stand by my side. All I want is you, will you stay with me? Hold me in your arms and sway me like the sea.